Hi YouTube, welcome back. Today I'm canning green beans. So here in my garden, this is green bean season. The green bean plants are putting out a whole lot of produce, and this I harvested yesterday, and this I harvested the other day. So I'm not going to get this much, every other day for very long, but we're going to can it as we get it, as much as we can. I definitely have enough to get a canner load, maybe not full, but at least enough to can. If you don't have it, I highly recommend this book. It's like the Bible for canning. It tells you how to do all your basic stuff. It may not have a lot of fancy recipes in it, but the Ball website has a lot more recipes on there, so you can look that up. I will link them both down below. I have washed this bowl, and I'm already out of space in the bowl, so I need to wash the other half of my green beans, and I'll be right back. Well, I cut up the first batch and washed the second batch. Now these are mixed kinds of beans. The thinner ones are Hill beans. The kind of fat ones, well, they're not really fat, but they're just a little bit less thin, are purple potted beans. The really fat ones are bush bean, and then I've got yellow wax beans and an actual green bean. And they're all kinds of green beans. But you need to cut off the part that it hangs from. And I prefer to cut that off, just a personal preference. Unless you're growing beans that actually have like a string in them. If they have a string, you're going to want to cut that off. But I don't care for that pointy end, so I just cut a little bit off. You can cut a lot all at once, like that. Just line them up this way. Jeremy. Anyway, cut them up. It says 2-inch pieces, but it doesn't have to be exact. It can be a little bigger, a little smaller, and that's fine. But my really big bowl is already most of the way full, and I still have the rest of these to do. So I'm going to have quite a few beans. I'm all set up here. My green beans are cut and ready to go. I've got water boiling back here. My jars are in the canner, and it's simmering, so they're warm. I've got my lids in here at a very low simmer just to keep it warm. Everything's washed, clean. I've got my little saucer that I use for vinegar. That's to wipe the rims with a clean napkin. My tools, I've got canning salts. Well, I use kosher salt. Just not iodized salt, because that'll make it cloudy inside your jar. Alright. I'm following the raw pack method in the Ball canning book, which allows for a teaspoon of canning salt, and then you just pack in your green beans. Now if you're doing a raw pack, it says to stuff them in as much as you can, at least for green beans. Not every vegetable is like that, but most of them are. And you have to leave a 1-inch headspace.
Excuse me, Mother?
Yes?
Where's Alex?
he's hanging out with Daddy.
Okay.
Go ask Dad. This is what I do to try to have quiet so I can film. Put them in pretty tight.
I'm talking to Alex about drills and stuff.
He's talking to Alex about drills and stuff.
Yeah.
Which means he's not interested. It also does say generous 1-inch headspace, so it's a little bit more than an inch, that's fine. An inch is basically the bottom of the rim, the bottom rim. So then we add our boiling water. Might not have started enough water. Then debubble. Just kind of slide this down to get any bubbles out. I didn't mention it earlier, but remember, this is not a how to can video. I'm just showing you what I'm doing. I will link very valuable resources below. Don't just follow me. Do your own research, because we're talking about food safety. So when we're talking about food safety for your family, do your own research. They say you don't have to use vinegar on the rims, that you can just use water, but
it's always better safe than sorry.
I'd rather have the double whammy of the vinegar. It doesn't go in the food, you don't taste it, but it will take, if there's anything like sticky, it'll take care of that. Fingertip tight. You don't want to put that, crank it on too tight, the lid will bubble while it's under pressure. Now these are purple now, they'll come out green, which kind of makes me sad, but oh well. Do you want to pause the video? Go ahead. I'm just going to do a sped up montage for this part, so. Peekaboo. Well, this only holds 7 quarts. I take the rest of my saucer of vinegar I put it in there with the water. Keeps it from staining the outside of the glass. And then put it on. Tighten it up. Turn up the heat. When it starts to build up pressure, steam is going to come out of this top here. And every time you use your canner, especially for pressure canning, make sure that this is not blocked, which I already did when I was washing it. But steam will come out of here. When you see that and it's steady, set your timer for 10 minutes. After that 10 minutes is up, then you put on your weight. Now, I am below 1,000 feet, so I need 10 pounds, which is 2 rings. I don't have a dial, so I can't show you how that works. But this will just go on there like that. But you wait till after it is vented for 10 minutes. You put that on, and then eventually when it builds up enough pressure, it will start to rock back and forth. That's when you start your timer for your processing time, which for quartz is 25 minutes. So I'm going to go through all that, and we'll be back. And I'm going to have to do 2 loads apparently. Not a full load, but I'm not going to waste those. Timer just went off. It's been venting for 10 minutes. Careful not to burn yourself. Now you wait for the rocking to start. This is that rattling sound that you're waiting for. It's going pretty steady right now. So I'm going to start my timer. Now, if that stops, you need to restart your time from when it starts up again, because you need it to be constantly like that the whole 25 minutes. Remember, this is trying to kill botulism, which doesn't like to die. And can you really blame it? But I don't want to die either, so I'm going to make sure it gets hot enough for long enough. And it should be good. I did turn the temperature down just slightly, so it's not too much. And I'm going to let it go, but I'm going to stick around in the kitchen here so that if it does stop rattling, I'll hear it. 25 minutes is up. Don't open it. Don't even take that off yet. Just turn your heat off. And if you can, move it off the burner. If you can't, just leave it. Alright. You put it over here, and you leave it alone, and you don't touch it until the pressure has returned to 0. Every canner is different. Mine tells me by this little button going down. And guess what? The pressure has returned to 0. So now, I can take this out. And there's no venting, so it actually has returned to 0. But I'm still going to leave it for a few more minutes before I open it, and then I'm going to let them sit in there with the lid off of it for another like 10 minutes or so before I take them out. In the meantime, dinner's ready. We're going to eat dinner, and I'm just going to let these sit in here as long as they need.